a fan of the Dragon Ball Super card game? If so, check out QueenCityGaming.com for sealed product, singles, and more. Just use promo code MafubaJar-10 to save 10% off your order every time.
Welcome back to Mafuba Jar. We've been sealed away for another amazing deck profile. And today's deck profile is going to be revolving around the new draft leader that we got in the second draft box, Caulifla. Now, this is probably a lot of people's favorite Universe 6 Saiyan. Honestly, I'd say she's up there with Kefla for me. She's pretty cool. Definitely have no complaints about her as a character, but as a leader, oh boy, is she amazing. And once the Tournament of Power set comes out around the end of May, she is just gonna get so much better. But even right now, she's pretty dang good. So let's go ahead and look at what makes her so really good right now. So she's a red leader, she's a Saiyan, alien, and Universe 6. Which that little trait there is really gonna do wonders once we get the Tournament of Power set. And she has a couple things about her that make her pretty special. Her activate man is once per turn, choose a card in your life, add it to your hand, then choose this card and all of your non-black battle cards and they gain 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you could power up everything on your board that's not black or overrealm, and just really amazing that it's self-awakening and powers up everything. Like that. And she awakens at 4 life and you draw 2 cards. Nothing special there. And we have Caulifla running wild. Personally, this artwork is amazing. Like, probably the artwork wise, this is probably up there with the Full Power Son Goku. Even though it's a terrible leader, artwork wise, it's amazing. So the activate main is the exact same thing. You take a life, add to your hand, and everything gains 5,000 power. And when she attacks, draw a card. So, self-awakening, check. Can power up all your battle cards. Check. Red Saiyan Leader. Check. And Universe 6. Check. Because of all the support we're getting next month. So, definitely has a lot of potential now and is going to have so much more potential in about a month. So, definitely something to look out for with her. And there's actually a lot of ways right now you can build Caulifla. I've seen people do it with Ginyu. I've seen people do it green version, mono red. That's kind of what this is. It's mostly mono red. But this is actually my GT version of the deck. So I did choose a GT engine with this, which I personally think as of right now is the most aggressive engine for it. Just because there's so much GT stuff that can just support this like crazy. Alright, so going into the GT parts of it, we have 4 copies of Rushing Warrior Pan. Now this was the pan that we got from the Son Goku Red starter deck. And she's really, really good. She has 2 autos. Her first auto is when you play this card, choose up to one of your red leader cards or red battle cards. That card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn, so it helps boost up our attacks even more. And her other auto is when you combo with this card from the battle area, draw 1 card. So this is like Red's version of a 1-drop draw. Like blue has Boo, yellow has Bulma, and red kind of has Pan. Like it's not an immediate draw, but you play her, you combo with her, and you draw. So it's almost the same thing. Almost. Alright, and next up for our red 1-drops is going to be 4 copies of Saiyan Kaba. Now this is going to, wow. These 2 combined, I've easily awakened her by turn 2, turn 3 on my own. So this really speeds up the awakening process even more. Because you attack with him, his auto is you take a life, add it to your hand, and this card gains 10,000 power and double strike. So, and if you activate Caulifla's skill first, this becomes a 20,000 double strike. So really good early and late game, if you have the life to spare, of course. So yeah, could definitely either put pressure on your opponent or just win you the game last minute overall. And for our super combo card, I'm playing the Handy Giru. Now, it really doesn't matter which one you played this over to Vados because it does the exact same thing. But for this one, I would slightly prefer Giru over Vados, and I'll show you guys why in a little bit. But once we get the Tournament of Power set, this is definitely coming out for the Universe 6 combo card, because that one says if your leader's Universe 6, you can activate that super combo skill when your life's at 5. So literally 5 life Caulifla, not even awakened yet, and you could still activate your super combo cards. And that's just one of the things we're getting that's gonna make this leader so busted. So there's that and so much more to look forward to. Alright. Now getting more in depth with the GT engine, it's going to be 4 copies of Fearless Pan. Regardless of whatever version of Caulifla you're playing, I feel this card is an absolute must. Because it's just too amazing. So, she's a blocker and has barrier, which is both really, really good. And her auto is when you play this card, choose all of your other red leader cards and red battle cards. They gain 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. So, play this one down while Caulifla's out, and this becomes a 20,000 double strike. Use Caulifla's skills, she becomes a 25 double strike. So, yeah. Things get crazy really quick with this leader and that Fearless Pan. So, again, regardless of whichever version of Caulifla you choose to build, I personally believe this is a must no matter what. Even if you're going mostly green, you got to play this card. It's too amazing. Alright, next up here to add a little more spice to the GT engine, gonna be running 4 copies of Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku. Now he is a 3-drop critical, and his permanent is when your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy cost of this card in the battle area by 2, which is very, very awesome, because it helps us play these 2 copies of Victorious Fist Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, which I'll explain this one first. It's an EX Evolve, tap 1 red, place 1 card from your hand in drop area. It has double strike, and its allows once per turn when this card attacks, switches card to active mode, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So with this double strike dual attack, almost, except it's slightly better because it gains power after the first attack. And I run 2 copies of Broken Limit Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, which same exact EX Evolve, red, discard a card, but the auto is on this one's very different. When one of your cards attacks, this card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. And if this card's power becomes 40,000 or more, it gains triple strike for that duration of the turn. So, I've gotten this card easily to 40,000 before I even attack with anything. Because of playing Fearless Pan, Caulifla ability, like, just so many ways to power this guy up like crazy. And I'll move all these out of the way and show you yet another way to power this guy up. Since we run those Super Saiyan 3 GT Gokus, I also am trying 4 copies of Combination Attack Pan. Now, what's really cool about her is that even though she's a 3-drop, if you have a Goku or Trunks, if you choose to do a Trunks version of this, that has 25 or more power, you get to play her for free. So get one of these guys out, and you can just start spamming her out for no cost whatsoever. And her activate main is once per turn, choose up to one of your Son Goku GT or Trunks GT in your battle area and have it gain 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So this combined with Caulifla and Fearless Pan, I have easily gotten past 40,000 without even making a single attack yet. So it's, yeah. If you're a player that likes to hit hard with your decks, then Caulifla is a deck for you. Like, bottom down, bottom, bleh, hands down, bottom. Come on, mouth, work with me today. All right. And next up for our reds, going to be 2 copies of Pride and Justice Topo. I only run 2 of this guy because we run a lot of counters in this deck, a little more than I usually play, and it's working out for me pretty well. But I feel like you only really need 2 because I do run a small blue engine in here. So me having 2 red energy, of course it does happen, but it usually happens by turn 3 instead of turn 2. And of course we know Topo's an amazing counter card. You play him to counter attack and negate it. And if either your leader or your opponent's leader has 15,000 power or more, you reduce his cost by 2. So you tap 2 red, play him down. And his auto is whenever you KO a card with this guy, you switch him back to active mode. So he can easily just wipe your opponent's entire board and then just go straight for the leader. And even though Caulifla's leader ability does not do anything with the black cards, I do still run 2 copies of Time Patrol Trunks just to help me search out things. And yeah, I only run 2 of them because even though I didn't need him that often, the times I did play him, he really did help me win the game. But I really want to run more of him though, because you really don't fill up your drop until late game. Alright, so now for that blue engine I mentioned. It's a very small engine. Just going to be running 4 copies of Ultimate Judgment Jocko. Just a really good defensive card to bounce back your opponent's combo cards. So good. Next up, 4 copies of Centubean, because no matter what deck you're playing, retapping energy is always a beautiful, beautiful thing. Got a little hiccup there, sorry about that. Alright. And gonna escape for the blue engine for a minute to just go into our other extra card, which I personally think is probably the most powerful card in this deck. It's going to be 4 copies of Grand Tour Spaceship. Now, if it wasn't for Grand Tour Spaceship, I'm not entirely sure if I would run 4 Fearless Pan. I'll say that right now. Like, of course I would still run it because it's so amazing, but Grand Tour Spaceship just makes it undeniably the best card to run here. So you tap 2 energy, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, then choose 1 Sun Goku, Trunks GT, Pan, or Giru, and with 50,000 less power, and play it. So pretty much, you can play her if you want to. I mean, if you have no other choice, it's better than nothing, but this is not the optimal thing to play. This right here is the optimal thing to play because she's a 3-drop, and you can essentially play her for a 2-drop and still have everything getting double strike. You're also able to play this guy down here because he is a 15,000 power base, and you can also play down the Giru as well, which tap at 2 energy to put down a super combo card seems really bad, I know, but when you're in a really, really bad situation, you can just do Grand Tour Spaceship, get him out, and he's at least something you could combo with to draw a card. So I've been in like one situation where I actually was saved from a knockout because of Grand Tour Spaceship, and I just left the Giru there, and during my opponent's next turn, they tried to attack me, and I comboed with it, drew a card that helped me just keep comboing out of his stuff. So, very weird situations, not a good situation, but it can't help. But yes, the Fearless Pan and the 3-drop Sun Goku are your ultimate targets for this. Makes it a completely busted card. And last but not least, my 1-drop Negates. I run 3 copies of Unending Awakening and 3 copies of Whis' Coercion. Now Whis, of course, free Negates. I really don't need to explain that one. Just too good, but Unending Awakening is actually a really amazing card because I played it in my Pan deck, and it was probably one of the best counter cards I could have ever asked for, because you tap 1 energy, you negate the attack, and your red Saiyan leader gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. And Caulifla is a red Saiyan. So I've had times where in her Awakened mode, I would negate an attack, and she was at a 20,000 power for the duration of the turn, and my opponent had to always combo at least 1 or 2 cards just to match it. And it was just so amazing because I made him waste so many cards just to be able to damage her. So this, I would say, is probably one of the best counter cards for Caulifla. And definitely, I would definitely not run that new 1-drop counter that we're getting in the Tournament of Power over this, because this, I feel, is just a million times better. And that about does it for my Caulifla deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, there's so many ways to build it, so you don't even have to do it the GT way if you don't want to. Like I said, I've seen people do it with Ginyu the Reliable Captain, being able to span all sorts of Ginyu Force guys, and using her ability to power them all up. Of course, there's also Salad Squad with Caulifla, Kale, and Kaba. Like, there's so many things you could do with this leader. It's such a good leader. And to think, this is all before Tournament of Power. Once this Tournament of Power set comes, this is going to be a tier leader. I can almost guarantee it. So definitely pick up the stuff now while you can, guys, because everything might spike in price before you know it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And with that, you have been released.